What's up, you nerds? Welcome back to Yellow Spandex. This week, we talk about the quarantine life. We talk about Simon Pegg and Nick Frost and them doing some crazy things. Also, a last movie you saw, tell me right now. Go ahead, put it in the comments. A little bit of Bloodshot, a little bit of The Hunt. These are movies, people. The movie's getting pushed back. Animal Crossing's taking over the world. A rare copy of Alice in Wonderland, New Mutants, and a lot more coming right now on Yellow Spandex.
And we're going.
Beautiful.
Right, awesome.
Hey, everybody. If you're listening to us, you're welcome to the first quarantine edition of Yellow Spandex. Vince and I are holed up in our place, and Josh is with his family. And we skipped last week, obviously, because the world was ending. And and then now we're all quarantined. Vince and I haven't left the house in 8 days.
That's right.
So
LA on
fun.
lockdown.
It's, like, I don't want to, like, I'm afraid of, like, who to tell this to. I guess now we're going to tell everybody, but, like,
Exactly,
it's
the world.
It's actually been kind of nice, and I'm not saying that it's nice that people getting sick or, like, and dying and all that stuff, and people being idiots and still being out and everything.
Yeah.
But it's been nice being inside. Like, 8 days has been, like, kind of relaxing. I've still been working, but, like, I told another friend the other day, like, I'm somehow able to, like, work on music, work on YouTube and video stuff. By the way, everybody who's been waiting on RKVC, the Power Rangers video is happening now because we're back on track for that. Video stuff, and also like work on music. I said music already, and then like play video games and get a full night's of sleep, like every day for like 8 days. It's insanity,
I have been going to sleep at a normal hour, which is definitely not me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's brought balance. I don't know. Like somebody joked that this was like a Thanos thing, and I don't want to like go that dark, but like it's. I mean, I know that's not for everybody either, because some of our friends work in like delivery and stuff, and so like they still have to be out there, and if you're in any of the what's considered essential services, they're still out there. So Godspeed to them. And if
My
you're one
wife
of them,
is. I was actually planning on, the last day before, they were going to shut everything down. I was like, dude, Angie, they're not going to let you go to work. We're just going to take off and go back to Indiana. Just so that we can go back to like my parents' farm, like ranch, and just they aren't there. They're in like Florida. I was like, dude, we'll just chill there and wait for this. It's like going to the what's that? Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, the Winchester.
Wait for the whole thing to blow over. Yeah, go to the Winchester, have a pint, wait for everything to blow over.
And then they closed all the bars.
Yeah, that didn't happen. Exactly.
Oh yeah,
but that didn't happen because Angie had to work. She's
I guess we won't like divulge like what she does and everything, but it's one of the essential services, or technically.
It's loosely connected to the government, and so I figured the government's like, well, we don't want to stop working, so
yeah,
like,
Keep pushing on.
But and I say loosely, real loosely.
Yeah.
I guess, so Josh brought up the thing about the Winchester and Shaun of the Dead. That's actually a really good tipping off point because we didn't plan on doing this till about an hour ago. But we figured we want to keep putting stuff out because, all of us have been pretty loose schedules recently, so we don't act like we don't have time to do it. But the Shaun of the Dead Winchester thing, did you see Simon Pegg and Nick Frost recreated that scene?
No, I did.
Yeah. Oh, you did? So Vince hasn't seen it. I'll show him afterwards.
Oh.
It's phenomenal. Also, they started a joint YouTube channel. That might be the best news of 2020 yet. That's the first video.
A lot of the, it makes everybody like, sometimes, when they talk about creativity kind of thrives when you're under, pressure or under certain circumstances that you can't get out of. I mean, I really think that this is kind of it with people in Hollywood because they're doing a lot of crazy, funny things. So,
so Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon started recording from home, and having their kids draw artwork and everything. And in the comments, you can tell the people that only go to YouTube for like TV shows and stuff, Because in the comments, they're like, oh, this is nice. It's really settled down. He's talking like at the camera. I'm like, every YouTuber ever for the last 15 years
does that.
It's like, they're like, oh, this bit was a little funny. I was like, well, you thought that was funny. You should have seen Shane Dawson do the same thing like 10 years ago, Like, you would be lolling, I'm trying to find the quote. Oh, yeah, so my favorite quote, we won't get too political about things, but my favorite quote from the Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, like, Winchester sketch was, above all, don't be a twat about things. We're all in this together. Don't be selfish. Look after each other. Give somebody a call if you think they might be lonely.
Yeah.
But other than that, they literally just recreate a phone call. Like they like record independently and they edit it together. They have perfect comedic timing. But the whole thing was just like they went through the plan of going to the Winchester. And I don't know. It was great, and it was like, yeah, you're right. Like what Josh said was right. It's just that, and I've seen so many live stream concerts. I don't know if you guys have watched any.
Yeah.
Like One Republic almost every night does a live stream concert. Like he'll do Instagram, so he does a half an hour of he makes food, eats it, and then him and the bandmates just like mess around. On the
it's so smart. I mean, it's what bands should be freaking doing in the first place. So I don't know.
It's so you should go listen to Josh's other podcast with starting a record label about that kind of stuff, because we talk about, like, obviously Vince and I are YouTubers, so doing YouTube, podcasting, live streaming, all that's like second nature. But there's so many like traditional musicians that were so opposed to it, and now they're like, well, this is the only way I'm going to remain relevant.
Exactly.
And it was like,
oh crap, I can't do anything else.
Literally a decade behind.
Yeah.
I watched Citizen Cope and Mark Broussard each did live stream concerts. And it's so funny because have you ever I used to work with a guy named Jim. Love the guy, sweet guy. But like, I have a feeling I'm going to be like this when I get to his age that when I first met him, because he knew analog like video editing where you had to physically take a razor to tape. And like edit the video that way. And the crossfade was a literal diagonal, like hash, through the thing, you tape it together. And so like when I came into like video and stuff, everything was already digital. I never had to touch film as far as video goes. And Jim would take the digital video camera, use the RCA video out, and then like record it in real time in the computer, because that's how he knew how to do it, right?
Yeah.
And so I watched Citizen Cope. He's one of my favorite musicians of all time, but he was like, so we're gonna take requests. He bought a burner phone and put the phone number on screen and told people to text him messages. It's like, yo, dude, there's a chat like right there, like on the screen.
It's a device.
But I guess maybe it's just like too fast to keep up with. Yeah, I don't know.
It might just be like a device, like in a narrative.
I have a strong feeling that like his manager took like 4 days and walked through with him how to get this like Facebook Live thing to go. And then they were like, okay, well, we got him that far. And then the concept of like keeping up with the chat while playing was probably like, you know what, just get a phone.
I'm giving him too much credit.
We're going to put well, at least they're doing it,
They're like, here, just do it with this, a burner phone.
So I don't know, like we're in strange new times.
It is. It's very strange.
And everybody that was going to start a podcast did it this week.
That's right. And YouTubers that are popping up left and right. People that should definitely not be stepping up to the plate. And a lot of people that are great and new talent.
I started hanging out on TikTok a lot more recently. And someone did a great sketch. They were like, after the quarantine, like your Instagram notifications, and it was like, your dad started a live stream, your mom started a live stream. It's somebody like acting as the different people. It's like, your dog started a live stream, your doctor started a live stream, your ex started a live stream. It's true. Like a notification's off the hook, man.
Oh man, I have every time you go on Instagram now, you see like a few or more of people you follow are all live.
Yeah. Well, like, did you guys? When's the last movie you were able to see? Because like I know like. All of a sudden, they were like, "Oh, we're only going to allow theaters to have 50%," and I'm like, "This isn't going to last long,"
So the last movie Vince and I saw was Bloodshot.
I was going to ask you, have you seen that?
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it, but Vince doesn't even know this. Like right before they shut down, I was just curious, and I went to go see The Hunt. I'm going to say the last movie I saw was Bloodshot because, man, The Hunt. I mean, that's not necessarily like a nerdy geeky thing. So we won't talk a bunch about it here, but it's on home release now because of everything that's happened. I can't heavily recommend it, but I will say if you were conservative and was upset by the premise of the movie, you might actually like this, and that's all I'm going to say about it without spoiling it too much, because I think some people will actually like this movie, even though I didn't. It wasn't even the political message I didn't love, but also just the movie itself was so hokey. But I'm also not into like slasher horror stuff, either.
Yeah.
But-
Well, it has who's the guy? Always a big dude. This dude used to always be a big guy, and then all of a sudden he lost 1,000,000 pounds, and it's
Ethan
like,
Suplee.
there you go. I mean, he's really
Yeah.
cool too. I really like the guy. He has his own podcast now about that. I mean, everybody have podcasts, but I don't know. He was in American History X. He's been in
Yeah.
everything. He was in remember the Titans? I mean, he was always this giant dude. But yeah, he was talking about that on a podcast I was listening to, and that movie got shut down. Like because of that, like people, like all the conservatives are like, "Oh no, it's a movie about like hunting conservatives or something." It's like, no, it's supposed to be kind of a joke. It's weird. What you would like it? Why?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Like I said,
but they shut it down. So
Like I said,
whatever.
I don't want to spoil it, but I think of all the people, I think conservatives would like it the most. But
Probably, yeah. From what at
aside-
least I was hearing about it.
Aside from that, though, it makes fun of both sides a lot.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, I guess just a small example without giving away like plot stuff is like there's a point where like the liberals are like, and some of the conservatives are like in the same room. Is very much like the Hunger Games or something, And they're like, oh, the black guy just ran by. And it's like, we can't say that, and it's like, it's not politically correct. But then the other guy's like, we'll just shoot him up, honk along along. It literally shows like the worst of both sides in the same room. So I guess it was kind of funny in that way, but like, I just get so uncomfortable in settings like that. So the whole time I was like, I'm going to say the Bloodshot was and that's a lot to say because Bloodshot wasn't a great movie. But
I've actually heard Bloodshot was pretty bad.
It wasn't horrible.
Well,
but
yeah,
it was.
Yeah, let's transition to that.
It was better than a movie. Like sometimes, if it's something that wasn't that good, I'll just be like, it was a movie. But this was better than that.
I mean, it wasn't. It was to me. It was like Aquaman. It wasn't a good movie, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Like it. They could have rebranded it as like Chronicles of Riddick, like 4 or 5 or whatever the next one, and I would have been like, oh yeah, sure.
Nice.
It was exact
It's a Vin
same
Diesel movie.
Yeah, well, it was the same like kind of power sets except for the blackened eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's true.
I mean, it was what you wanted to be. Is like a lot of CG. And Vin Diesel being Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Like he's the one character.
Power and invincibility.
Yeah, he seems like he is in every other superhero movie that he's in.
I just
he's
love
just
seeing nanomachines in action.
That was pretty sweet.
And it's cool because you could tell the designers grabbed from like nature, like the way birds in a murmur, how they move in the sky. They kind of use that same like reference to when he gets shot and his like blood and all of his pieces of body are like floating back to him. You could see it like mimicking nature. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like The Matrix and like, oh man, there was another movie I had that was like Jason Bourne kind of, but then like really hokey.
Yeah.
know?
There's some terrible dialogue.
Yeah,
Which
Like
I would
you-
totally 100% expect from whatever I've seen in the movie. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I guess the good
comic-y.
I guess the good news is when you watch the trailers, the dialogue isn't like much worse than what you expected from the trailers.
Yeah.
It's not any better.
Nah.
But it was a fun comic book movie. Like I'm assuming it's going to come out in home release really soon, like everything else. But,
Yeah, everything seems to be jumping straight to it.
Was it a cliffhanger? I forget. Or did they like lead? Oh yeah, that's right. They just like drive off.
It's supposed to. So the original idea was to start its own cinematic universe. Not really.
Like everything.
It was. I forget the other character's name, but I guess in that line it was the Valiant Comics or something.
Oh, for Bloodshot?
Yeah.
So there was another character, and they wanted to have each of them have a movie and then a team up movie.
Oh.
But then the other character got sold to a different studio, and they were just like, "F it." Vin Diesel takes it from here.
Kind of like Unbreakable and
Yeah,
yeah.
That was great.
And
though.
Glass and what was the
Ugh,
one?
I did
with
not
the
like
Split.
Glass.
Split.
Glass was.
Yeah.
It was
Like-
like anticlimactic to me. Like I was like, what on earth? Like,
It
I don't know.
it
Split
didn't
was fun.
It was was like wild because like I loved Unbreakable so much, and then Split
Me
was
too.
so crazy. You're like, where are they going to take this? So Glass wasn't bad. It just was like it just didn't fit in that club
Yeah.
of those movies.
Yeah, it's weird because like Unbreakable came at it like almost like 100% living in the real world. Kind of like, Iron Man is not like Superman. At least the first
Right.
Iron Man movie, when there's no one else in the universe, it's very grounded. That's same way with Unbreakable. Unbreakable is like, this is how a superhero could kind of work in the real world. And then the other one is kind of like, here's like how a villain could really work in the real world. So it's kind of weird. I don't know.
I love stretching those muscles, though. I wish there were more shows within that same concept or movies.
And speaking of like stuff that's getting canceled, we were trying to look up stuff like, what do you talk about now that everything's canceled? So Josh had me pull up this thing we have all our news items on. The first thing was, it looks like Wonder Woman got pushed back to August.
Oh,
Nice.
Which, if that's
I know that
true,
New Mutants got pushed back to who knows again.
yeah. So Wonder Woman getting pushed back to August. We'll get back to New Mutants because that's a whole nother. But Wonder Woman being pushed back to August, like, there was rumors that Warner was tempted to just release it digitally.
yeah.
Which would have been cool for us, but also like that would have been like the death note, for that, as far as like box office numbers, right?
Well, I was thinking, because what would it be? They would. I was thinking people would pirate it if they put it on demand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would be that way anyway. It would just be easier, but also like the most they could make. But they did the standard of like $20 for a rental.
right.
Yeah, they seems to be $20 to be most of these for rental.
Which I know a lot of people complained about, and I know it's more than a normal rental. But at the same time, if you consider it as like a brand new release that was meant to be in thousands of theaters,
Right.
Yeah.
especially like I know there's an example of like that Trolls movie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have kids, but like I don't know if your kids like those movies, the Troll movies.
Yeah, they do.
But I'm assuming like if you had to take them to the theater, spending $20 to rent it at home would be like a quarter of the cost for you, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
To be honest, though, we would probably just wait till it got cheaper because there's plenty of other movies to watch. Like we just watched Jumanji 2 this last weekend.
Gotcha.
That was so much fun.
Well, I guess I mean like in any sort of the movie you really want to go see, if you were going to pay to go see it in the theater, but now the option is to pay $20 and see it at home for 2 days.
Option B.
Yeah.
It probably works out for you, right?
Exactly.
So
yeah,
like,
I mean,
It'd be
it would definitely
cheaper.
be a little bit cheaper,
You could
especially for
allocate
movies that
money
I'm definitely
differently.
going to see, like Wonder Woman.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm just happy that it's still going to be a theater release.
well,
Yeah.
let's see. We don't know. I mean, that's the thing is like, I don't know how many people outside the U.S. listen to us, but right now, without getting into politics, America's government isn't the greatest of agreeing on the way to go about things.
Yeah.
Trying to get the Republicans and the Democrats
and
together.
also like they're not being very clear on the messages.
No.
So we every day is literally like an update, like our manager Jen had posted a meme that was like, last week Monday no gatherings of 100 or more, Tuesday no gatherings of 50 or more, Wednesday no gatherings of 20 or more, like Wednesday or Thursday like no gatherings of 5 or more, and then next one's like the floor is lava.
Exactly.
It
Or
was just-
I like the one with Picard where it's like damage report, like every
Yes.
day of 2020.
Also, Picard with like the log
oh yeah,
doing everyday star log.
I don't know who's been paying attention to this is Rod, but my personal Facebook and Twitter, I posted like on day 3. It was like day 3 of quarantine. Vince set the toaster on fire.
I saw that.
Things are going well. It's funny because I think people thought I was trying to be funny. But I was like, that happened 30 seconds ago. Like I was talking to Vince and I see something shining in my peripheral. I'm like, is the toaster on fire? Yep.
Yep.
Oh,
It wasn't
man.
like, oh my God. Oh. Yep. Like I was watching it burn.
It's entertainment. Well, actually, you weren't. That was the
No,
whole
yeah.
that was the reason you turned away from it.
For like 3 seconds, too.
Which I'm kind of proud of because I'm usually the one. Josh could probably attest because we went to college together. I'm the one that usually like gives people food poisoning or like doesn't cook something right or set something on fire or cuts somebody or something, So I'm so glad that I wasn't the first one in this quarantine. There'll probably be something, but Vince is actually a good cook, and he was the first one to burn something, and it happened to be an appliance.
That's not the first time I've set one of those tortillas on fire either. If it ever smells like burning, it's usually those tortillas. You have like a 3-second window, I swear, like to where it's just
Yeah.
perfectly toasted and then on fire.
It's like the avocados. Not ready.
Yeah.
Not ready.
And it-
Too late.
Too late.
I'm gonna miss avocados.
Oh man, I went to 7 places today, and I ask my wife. I'm like the most like don't want to go outside, don't want to do anything. Like we were out of toilet paper, like or almost out of toilet paper. So I'm like, crap. And my wife's like on the internet looking, it's like, do you want to get a bidet? I'm like, yes, but right now we need toilet paper. So I went to 7 different places and finally like got some, like got it home. Like, jeez.
Our place, we just put the hose in the bathroom.
We should do that. No, like actually, yeah. To non-American listeners, this might be the event that makes Americans finally use bidets.
Yeah.
Because I think America is one of the, not the last, but one of the last like countries that is like on 100% like paper, like ass wiping regimen.
Your butt would thank you.
To be honest, like I kind of talked her into it with like, hey, this is going to be cheaper later.
Yeah.
Well,
isn't
like an attachable bidet like a couple cases of toilet paper?
Yeah, it would be less than. I mean, if you just put a hose on it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like,
the
I mean, the physical thing of buying the
it's like
unit.
30 or $60 or something. Watch it be
the
like
prices
90.
have definitely gone up. They are like $80 now, but
still not terrible.
No, not terrible. In fact, they even have ones that are slightly more expensive than that. They can like warm the water up for you.
Ooh,
really?
Dude, I might get one now.
Like, I don't need a shower anymore.
Speaking of things that went up in price, I don't know if anybody saw this, but the Nintendo Switch is just sold out everywhere.
What?
Awesome!
Like now, they're going for like $500 or more on eBay and Amazon and stuff.
It's crazy.
They sold out because everybody's staying in, but also, so I don't want to talk about this next thing too long because it could go for hours. But I got Animal Crossing because Scott Nice Wonder from NerdSync, his girlfriend was just like so excited about it on Twitter, and then I was like, "You're so excited! I want to check it out." And then I was on YouTube videos for like 2 or 3 hours just watching these things about Animal Crossing, and now I'm hooked. I've been playing for like 8 days, or not 8 days, like almost a week straight now. Every day, it's addictive, but
it's a pandemic.
So yeah,
well, it's like
but
Sims.
it came. Well, no, so I thought that's what it was when I watched the videos.
It's reminiscent.
It's you control one person, but the easiest way to describe it is like you spend the whole time doing chores and helping other people, but it's so calming. But
graphics are fun too.
It's like a digital like community,
I love the fish and the animals. And
if I didn't know better, I would have sworn that Nintendo made the virus happen so that this game could have a big launch. Because there's no other game that could have been more perfect for a launch at the beginning of a quarantine period.
That's kind of
Because you have to spend all day on this game, like just leave it on.
Yeah, it's taking over.
And so anyway, that being said, Japan just reported it's the best-selling is the best-selling Nintendo game ever, or Nintendo Switch game, awesome. Nintendo Switch game ever.
That's awesome.
It is beat out everything like Smash Brothers, the Mario Brothers games, like all that stuff. Like,
I'm glad that people.
Well, it was probably like there's probably more people like me that was like, well, under any other circumstance, I wouldn't have any time to play this, so I'm not going to get it. But now it's like it's so much fun.
I bet Jack Black, Jablinski, I bet he's playing Animal Crossing right now.
But I found myself like tearing up at certain scenes. I'm like, why? What the heck? Like, there's no point to the game. You can't win it. You just exist in the game.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
Ready Player One, only cuter.
What was that farm game that was huge?
Oh, Harvest Moon.
I think
Farmville.
Farmville.
It kind of reminds me of like it kind of took over Farmville.
I could see aspects of that, yeah.
But like it's just like a hard comparison.
What's the other game? The game where you just walked around with avatars talking to people.
Oh, VR chat.
Yeah, I feel like it's a mix between those.
So VR
like
chat,
Sims, VR chat, and Farmville.
I do like how you can visit other people's islands.
Yeah,
like so you get spawned new islands every day, or you have to pay for those flights.
So that's a whole like we could talk hours. All you just said 4 different things in the game, but as if they were one thing. So to anybody that's listening, like any subscribers or followers that have been trying to invite me to the island or ask me to get to my island still looks like an Indiana garage sale. So I'm just waiting for it to look a little bit more.
Everything's on the lawn.
Yeah, everything's out everywhere. It's awful looking. So I think that's what everybody's doing this week is you're trying to earn everything to make your place presentable. But anyway, I didn't want to talk about Animal Crossing too long. It was just like the Switch, like it's just. I mean, it was already popular, but now it's just like you can't find them for like the normal price.
That is insane. one last comment about Animal Crossing. I haven't even bought it yet, but take my money, please. And the reason being, and this is, I'll just finish this rant with this, is that it's like, if you nerds listening, it's perfect for us because it's like you're organizing species of fish, you're digging up fossils, you're catching arachnid, you're catching butterflies, and you're itemizing all these things. You're filling up your museum and stuff. It's like perfect nerdism.
Also, like, no two people like do it the same way, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I showed Vince how I did something, and it was like, well, it took me 3 days to figure out that was the thing that worked out best for me. It's hard to explain. Like, if you go to my Twitter, Rod Kim on Twitter, you'll see me ask somebody, I think, you'll see me ask Emily about if Animal Crossing's like The Sims. Then my friend Max Mariner chimes in, and I don't have his exact quote, but that's what sold me on the game. It was just like, it's not The Sims, it's about helping and community and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. Then I got in, it was exactly what he said, but I can't find a description for it for myself.
Yeah.
But literally, like, everybody's playing right now. Like, I've added dozens of new friends on Switch because every time I post something about Animal Crossing, like 10 new friends are like, oh my god, me too, and then they add me.
What island?
So
yeah,
so fun,
I don't know. I feel like I get sucked into that. I'm not going to do that. I got the game. It's like just get sucked in.
If this pandemic ends like tomorrow, I still won't be coming out for a while.
Yeah.
Like, where's Rod? It's like finishing Animal Crossing.
All right, you guys got to tell me if this is true or not, or if you heard anything about this.
Okay.
I found this post on Facebook. It says, the title says, "The rare copy of Alice in Wonderland illustrated by Salvador Dali is haunting and beautiful." So this is a copy of Alice in Wonderland illustrated by Salvador Dali. Can you imagine like
Oh wow,
what type of things
oh, Vince is scrolling through like
he would illustrate? So there's, I'll send Josh this link later, but the things that he's depicting here, or like drawing and painting, are just amazing. It brings you through. Oh, that looks like a butthole. Just brings you through this
I see them around.
entire
Yeah, they're pretty crazy.
story of Alice in Wonderland, and just like for something like this to exist is ridiculous to me. But is it real? Does it look? I guess it is real.
I'd imagine it's real. Yeah.
So Josh mentioned earlier New Mutants.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you watched Beyond the trailer. I think the host name is Grace. It's the blonde lady that she's in the box on the side of the screen and talks and stuff. She's been around for a while. I know there's some like political things that people don't agree with her with, but she does a pretty decent job summarizing stuff. So she was talking about New Mutants is like delayed or canceled again, you know? And she brought up a good point. Like, if there was ever a case to just drop it on Hulu, now is the time. Because
I've been saying that from the beginning.
Well, everybody's been saying that from the beginning, but like, you know, if studios had any excuse left, you know, it was like this has been delayed how many years, and then, you know, it's like now the release week or couple weeks or whatever is like in that window of like the cancellations and stuff, and we don't even know if movie theaters are going to open back up before the year's over.
Man, that's so.
And
I imagine they'll open that back up before the year's over, but you know, we're probably going to be probably a good 3 months before we actually get everything.
Not just for like quarantine stuff. I mean, there's still that possibility. Like the one of the like worst scenarios has been painted that we're in this for 18 months because vaccinations, like, you know, that's how that works. Because Vince's aunt's in pharmaceuticals, and so we know about the clinical stuff. And like, I think they said like a year and a half is like the best case scenario, like at record time getting something out. You know?
Yeah. People are too crazy though. People will get stir crazy. They'll go nuts. That just it's just not going to happen.
I don't even think it's necessarily that. I just, once stuff start like releasing at home, will people want to go to the theaters? You know,
It's an interesting theory
because
we'll see what happens.
Will enough people be comfortable enough to make the numbers that they were making to stay going? You know,
like enough theaters or enough movie
goers.
Companies?
Yeah. Well, no, enough audience members to go see the movies like they were before. You know,
if they can pull the same numbers.
You got dates and everything else. You want to get out of the house. You want to go do something. I mean, as much as like we actually kind of stick around and do Netflix and everything else nowadays, you still want to get out every once in a while. And I mean, I know movies is kind of a thing that people I don't see it going away even at this.
I know I do, but like it's just like I sometimes I ask people about going to movies, even like you said, like we'll wait for it to come out in the cheap theater, and by the time like a movie's in the cheap theater, it's not making profit anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and so like they're relying on those opening weekend numbers to kind of set the trajectory, and stuff
yeah.
like will they be able to do the same model? And so like we don't even know if it's going to return to that, or if when we get back to theaters, is it going to be like $5 to see a movie, or is it going to be like $30 or something, or is it even going to happen? But the whole thing with New Mutants is like it's already been delayed so much, and we don't know if it's going to be another year, because Fast and Furious 9 got pushed back a whole year.
Yeah.
They were just like, we're going to put it in the slot that they had already put in for Fast and Furious 10, which is hilarious, by the way. They just like reserve a date every summer for Fast and Furious movies. But like, so Beyond the Trailer was saying, I didn't know this, and if this is true, it makes sense. How shows get rated on streaming services is how many people it brings in as new customers. And so like when you see a show that's like, oh, that's my favorite show, nothing was wrong with it, why didn't it get renewed? Is like it probably didn't bring in enough new audiences by the second or third season or something,
That's tough.
And so like the whole thing about like Stranger Things and Orange is the New Black is that every new season brought in like a whole drove of new fans and stuff, and paying subscribers.
Yeah.
And so like they were like, well, if there was ever an argument to release New Mutants on Hulu, that might be the movie that would get people to subscribe to Hulu for at least a month, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I think. I mean, you have to sign up something like that anyway,
Yeah, if I didn't get Hulu for free already because of Spotify, I would not be paying for it. There's just not enough good stuff on Hulu for me to actually want to go watch.
I guess that's the point then, it's like if there was anybody that was curious about New Mutants, and you were like, I'm probably not going to see this in theaters, but it's like, but $8 for a month of Hulu, or even a free trial.
Right.
That movie might be enough of a, and it sounds like it's in a good position to do that, because it was the remnants of Fox before Disney brought it on. They were debating on even releasing it,
Yeah.
It's like you already have it done. It's like a big budget movie that they could put on a streaming service.
Well, they also did shoot, secondary shoots for it, and then decided, let's just not do that. Just release it like we had it.
Yeah.
So like, this would be a good movie, because it would be like, even if it's bad, it's like a theatrical quality that they could just drop for the first time, as a debut on Hulu.
Yeah.
I mean, why not,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of things are going to be dropping, though. I mean, if they, they said Birds of Prey, everything else, all these, movies that just came out like last week, the week before, whatever. They're like, hey, by the way, they're coming straight to rental, so they're going to be, a lot of stuff's going to be in competition with itself, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just talked to a couple days ago with a friend from YouTube, and they're part of that launch. Like the 3 movies, like Trolls and The Hunt and all that stuff, they all launched on YouTube for $20. But so did Onward.
That's cool.
Onward came out too.
I bought Onward as soon as that. It was, it's weird. So as bad as this pandemic is for like geeks and nerds and fans of anything that came out in this like 2 or 3 week time period, man, it was so cool, because I loved Onward so much. We saw it in theaters twice.
Yeah.
And I cried both times. And I called my brother immediately after both times. And then like one morning, in quarantine, I wake up and I don't even remember what time, because who cares? I like woke up and I saw like Onward will release on home release tonight. I'm like, yes. And by tonight they meant like 3 hours from the time that they announced it. And I was like, I'm on iTunes buying it right now, and I watched it every night before I go to bed. And then I guess it's going to be on Disney Plus the first or second week of April.
That's cool.
So if you have Disney Plus, you don't even have to pay for it.
Nice.
So like probably not good for the box office numbers, but like, man, what a cool thing for fans, because that's just a great movie.
Definitely probably helps Disney Plus to get more people too, so who knows.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I saw their stock was going boop, up, and Netflix, I think, was going down last time.
Disney was going up?
Yeah.
Did I see rumors that like Apple was going to buy Disney, or Disney might buy Apple because of the way the stocks have been going or something?
Oh,
I don't know if that's true.
Stuff like that flies around everywhere. I have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, it is horrifying as it would be. It kind of makes sense, Like if Apple's like, we own Disney now or something, or if Disney's like, we own Apple now.
I was going to say, I think it'd be the other way around. Disney is just ginormous.
You know what? I don't even know anymore. Like I've been inside the house for 8 days with stuff and it had to go to no meetings, like like I don't know what the world is anymore.
I'm just glad that Mandalorian won't be canceled or delayed, because it's literally on Disney Plus.
Did they finish it?
Well, I don't know.
They didn't
whether
finish it. I don't
that's
think. I think they actually had to stop.
Okay,
In fact,
yeah.
most everything had to stop. Matrix 4, Batman stopped. I know The Flash stopped.
Mortal
gosh.
Kombat's still in post-production, so...
Yeah.
Hey, there you go.
Well, I don't know if it's still in post-production. It was in post-production, so I could imagine that's easier to transition to, like, isolated circumstances.
Yeah. Did you hear about who's going to be playing Ahsoka Tano?
Yeah.
No.
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, in Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
thought we were talking about I said Mortal Kombat, and you said something Katana. I'm like, wait, who's
Oh
playing
no,
Katana?
Ahsoka Tano.
Okay.
She's a character from the Clone Wars that everyone loves.
She's a young
And-
Padawan.
Yeah, and she
Or not anymore, I guess.
I mean, I cannot stress if you hated the prequels, which I did. That show kind of made me okay with the prequels. So
Oh,
it's
nice.
like, I think it's 7 seasons now. This is the 7th season. They had a long time between the 6th one and the 7th one. This is going to be the last season of the kind of wrap everything up in that. And it still has Filoni's doing it. He's the guy that helped do Mandalorian as well. So,
Oh, very
I mean,
cool.
this guy just knows his Star Wars lore and loves Star Wars. So, like, you can just tell he brings all this good stuff to the medium. So,
I love how Mandalorian, somehow they're able to have these celebrity cameos, but it doesn't feel campy,
yeah.
Like,
I
it
get what
feels
you
like
mean, yeah.
every episode or every couple episodes, there's a very well-known face, and I could tell it's a gimmick, but I don't feel like it's a gimmick while I'm watching it,
Right.
Like, when Bill Burr was on, it felt
Yeah.
natural, even though I was, like, waiting for that episode, and when Ming-Na Wen was on,
Yeah.
the only thing I was upset with was that, spoiler, she wasn't there for very long,
Yeah.
No.
But
It's cool too because both of those people have TV experience. So it's like, it didn't feel jarring to see them on television.
Yeah. I love Bill Burr, to be honest. Like, he's one of my favorite comedians, and his episode was just the meh of all those episodes, though. Like, I don't know why the rest of the people that were acting were just like awkward. It was a little cringe. I don't know, for me. But it still was good. I don't know.
And also with Mandalorian, like, half of Hollywood was in it because, like, we have friends that are, like, not A-list actors, and they were in it, as, like, semi-prominent, like, phase. So it's like they're just taking good actors from any part of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Like, whether you're really well known or you're just really good but not well known yet, stuff, they'll still stick you in there. I think that, I don't know, if while you're in quarantine, you should watch, like, the behind the scenes on, I think, Corridor Digital. They explain some of the stuff for Mandalorian. They use, like, this updated green screen technology that's not even a green screen. It's like it's projected on, like basically flat screens, like OLED screens all around the set or whatever,
That's crazy.
and it's running Unreal Engine, and so, like, the parallax changes as the camera moves and stuff. It's crazy. So the
Yeah.
actors can actually see.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
See what they're looking at,
green
not
screen.
tennis balls.
Yeah.
Be able to.
I remember
act better.
Ian McKellen, like, just going off and, like, how annoying it was to do a lot of the Lord of the Rings stuff. He's like, because I'm talking to a freaking tennis ball.
It's funny.
I can't get emotion out of other people,
Yeah, I get that. At the same time, though, it's like, it just shows how, like, great of actors these people are,
Yeah.
Because, like, as much as I rag on Scarlett Johansson a lot, when I saw Jojo Rabbit, it reminded me that she's a really great actor. And I think that translates to the MCU because she's a great actor, but also, half the time she's interacting with the Hulk, which is literally, like, it's not even a tennis ball. Isn't it, like, a stick with a head on it off Mark Ruffalo's back or something?
Yeah, well,
with a
the
picture
thing
of
is, though,
love.
he's there, though, so you can at least get a little bit of, emotion back
Yeah,
and
yeah.
forth, as
It's just
opposed to,
eye
like,
line.
just act this scene against this tennis ball who's not saying anything to you. Like, someone's in the corner
Yeah.
reading the lines that he's supposed to be
Or-
saying.
It
or
would
like
suck, yeah.
Or like the Jungle Book, that kid.
Oh my god.
That kid who was the only person
was-
on set.
I'm seeing the behind the scenes things for that. I haven't even seen the movie, but I've seen, like, behind the scenes things. I've seen interviews with John and everything, and that kid's amazing.
Yeah,
That kid's amazing.
It's just like the imagination. I mean, I'm not saying that, like, it should be that way. It's just like, man, it just kind of, like, shows
It's gotta be
who's
tough, man.
really good. Kind of like in, all of us are in the music world. Like, there was a New Year's a few years back where, like, Mariah Carey just, like, bombed, like, New Year's Eve performance or whatever on rocking.
Yeah.
Dick Clark's rocking.
Yeah, I
EG.
remember that.
But then like 10 minutes later, Rachel Platten got up there because that was the year that Fight Song was like blowing up and stuff.
Right.
And she had the same circumstance, like no monitors. It was super cold and stuff, but she just nailed it. And it's like I love Mariah Carey. She's legendary, like iconic. She will always be, never have any disrespect.
She'll always be your baby.
Yeah, exactly. But you can tell that Rachel's been touring for like 10 years straight, right? Like almost every day of the year.
Fresh off the tour.
But, and used to the sets and stuff and muscle memory and things. And then that kind of performance kind of shows that like when circumstances aren't perfect, the 3 times that Mariah performs on TV, it's a toss-up. Is it going to be great, or is there going to be a technical circumstance that make
Right.
And so like I don't know, I guess it's that way for some of these actors and stuff. Like as much as like that sucks, but I guess that's also the reason they're getting paid like $10 million to be there.
To act with a tennis ball.
Speaking of Disney and stuff, Mulan got pushed back, but it got caught in the crosshairs of this whole pandemic thing because the premiere happened. Then it was supposed to release a week or 2 later, and like almost exactly in the middle of like the premiere and the release, all the quarantining started happening.
All that momentum.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they even had Christina Aguilera performing the new song on Jimmy Kimmel.
Shit.
And stuff, and I really want to see it. And so far, my friends that got to see press screenings of it are like, it's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm like, I want to see it.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
But so far, there's no schedule for it, And my friends that over at Disney are like, there's no talks about doing a home release because it's just too big of a movie to like risk that. It's kind of like Wonder Woman, It's like that if there's any chance they could have a theatrical release even in the fall, like they can't risk just dropping it on Disney Plus, or even $20 a pop and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
Were
I
you
feel
guys
like
gonna
that
go?
one just kind of caught in the crosshairs. I didn't want to go, just particularly because of her thing with, Hong Kong.
Gotcha.
What
The lead actors, like
Yeah.
she had some political statements. I'm on the boat right now of like, if it was beforehand, I might have like rallied a little bit more, But since it happened after the movie was shot and stuff, it's like there's so many other people involved in the movie. Some of them we know that like, man, it would suck for them to get caught in that, And the virus took it down anyway.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be wild just watching all these movies. It's kind of like watching, like when frats like haze their new members and stuff, and like you have to hold on to a bar and like you fall into like a pool or something like that, or mud or something disgusting. It's like watching all these movies, like hanging on and seeing which ones drop, right? Like Onward's on streaming tonight.
Yeah. Every day is new news.
Like I got that
some type of news.
I got that email from YouTube that's like, on YouTube, watch the 3 new movies from NBC Universal. I was like, what world do we live in?
It's a
Thank
crazy
you,
one
YouTube.
right now. Yeah, thank you, YouTube.
I mean, and then you also paying $20 for like a 48-hour window to watch it.
Yeah.
Also, don't pay $20 to watch The Hunt unless you really wanted to.
Oh, man.
That was something else. But I don't know. What was some other things supposed to come out? That
I was gonna say, what else is in the pocket?
because so Bloodshot, there was Black Widow got pushed back,
Yeah, that got put back too, yeah.
but they didn't give it a date though, right? They're just like holding.
Yeah, just right now, I don't know if they're planning on still. I would assume they'd still want to release. I think with these superhero movies or any movies that are large like that, they're going to want an actual release unless it's like, oh, this is happening next week. Like, oh, might as well, throw it out there now. But, if they can wait a month or 2 and people start to watch it again, or they're going to actually show up, then they'll do it just for the money. You know it.
I saw a theory on, I think it was Beyond the Trailer, that said, like, it would be maybe a good move on the MCU's part is just to push everything back 1 slot. So,
Yeah.
like, Black Widow comes out when the Eternals are supposed to, and then just push everything back,
Yeah, unless they're doing the same thing with the Disney shows that they kind of need to kind of connect,
Oh yeah.
then they'd need to push the shows back as well. But I know the shows also, I think a lot of them did run into some problems
Yeah.
shooting and finishing with the virus.
I guess
so.
that's a plus. That's something advantageous with MCU now that it's like all under one house. That it can all shift together because, like you said, the everything's getting delayed. But at least it's not like Fast and Furious where it's like a year.
Yeah.
Like it's like a season, right? So instead of being the summer release, Black Widow could be the fall release.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Nah.
I don't know. Did you guys see the meme? Remember in Ant-Man when Scott gets out of prison and Michael Pena is, like, he's asking, he's like, "Oh, what about this?" He's like, "Oh, he's dead. Oh, what about this? He's arrested. He's dead." He's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
no, we still got this." Somebody made the memes like, "So how's the MCU?" He's like, "What about Black Widow?" I was like, "Oh, it's delayed." It's like, "What about this?" It's delayed. And what about Eternals? "Oh, it's also delayed." It's like, "We get a new season of Agents of Shield though." Cool.
Is that actually? I haven't seen anything about that. Is it actually coming out like on?
Last I heard, they hadn't finished like filming it.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of
So-
been somewhat secretive. I haven't heard anything of it since the last season wrapped.
I haven't heard anything.
It'd be interesting if they're just kind of holding on to it. Be like, this is the last completed Marvel
Yeah,
thing.
I mean it's
besides Black Widow.
I mean that's lasted since Phase 1.
Yeah.
I mean it's crazy. How many years is that? That's got to be 8 years.
Yeah, was it 8 or 9? What season was this? Or is this going to be?
I mean,
9?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, it came out after Avengers,
Yeah.
so
Let me see here. I'll look it up. Because I will admit, I wasn't too hooked on it at the beginning.
yeah.
And then a friend of mine was like, Sam Jackson's on it. I was like, what? And then I checked it out for that. And then the second season got me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the first season was a little weird. I think they were trying to find their footing, and then Winter Soldier happened, and then that threw everything out the window. So they're like, all right, we kind of got to roll with the punches with all these other movies, and they did a great job. So
All right, so this final season will be season 7.
okay,
7.
Well, I know
And-
the last season had like a really long wait in between that one too. So
Yeah, the last couple seasons had like 2 story arcs.
well, I mean, just
Each, like-
between the 5th and the 6th season, though.
Oh,
I think there was about a year and a half because it was supposed to
Gotcha.
come out at one point in time and they pushed it back.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, and then there was like long holiday breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like months, like 3 months
I think that's what it was. It was
in between stuff. Well, no, I mean in between, like just in the middle of a season.
Oh.
And this
the
next
whole-
one, I think, is only supposed to be a half a season long.
Oh.
So I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, that,
I'm excited
That'd be
though.
cool.
I mean, that's one of my favorite shows, to be honest. Like of all the like actual television shows of nerd stuff, like that's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
very cool.
I mean, we've watched every episode.
yeah. We also finished Cloak and Dagger and Runaways.
Yeah.
You know what? They did a good job with both those shows, giving them endings. I think.
That's good. That's what
they
I hate
weren't-
the most is like Smallville, where it was like everything was on a cliffhanger. So like I didn't even watch the last few seasons, but I imagine it'd be like Quantum Leap, where it's like, and cliffhanger, they'll have to bring us back next time, and it's like nope. We'll just the end of Quantum Leap. It's like, and he never returned. Yeah, something.
Leaped too far.
This isn't related to the MCU, but it kind of reminded me of it. Both Vince and I watched the second season of Altered Carbon.
Oh, yeah.
It was good and definitely in the world of Altered Carbon, but somehow that first season was just so huge
Yeah.
that this one felt like a mini, it felt like a offshoot, right? It felt like the what was the offshoot of Friends? Joey.
Oh, God.
Oh gosh, I
But not-
forgot about that.
It not that bad, but kind of felt like.
But an offshoot, nonetheless.
But the reason I brought it up is because Anthony Mackie is the new lead in Altered Carbon. Mm-hmm. And Vince was saying he didn't like it because he couldn't unsee Falcon.
And then freaking Misty Knight is in there, too.
Oh yeah, she's the main character too. But
There's a bunch of Marvel people.
I could, for some reason, I guess maybe just the way I was watching, I could suspend my disbelief because the whole world of Altered Carbon is you switch bodies, right, with these little discs that you contain your soul and stuff. So like with Anthony Mackie suddenly the lead character, he's still Takeshi Kovacs, but Takeshi could be like 100 different people in one season, and it just so happened to be Anthony Mackie that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought the casting was good in the sense of like without giving away the season's plot, the setup is he's in the body of like it's not a human body, it's like a body that was
military
engineered for the
sleeve.
military.
Yeah.
And so like you think of Anthony Mackie and Falcon, you're like, yeah, I mean he's pretty fit,
Yeah.
If they were going to like design a body for the military, like probably something like that.
Especially because he's probably just fresh off filming or getting ready to start whatever the Winter Soldier thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen him as not a fit dude, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, that was a good show. I haven't watched the anime yet they just released.
Nah, yeah, it's a movie. I haven't seen it either. I'm not I'm really being mean about it because I've been staring at whatever the thumbnail is on Netflix, and I'm like, I don't like this thumbnail. It's like, I don't want to watch this. But then I'm like, man, I'm gonna watch it. And I'm like, man, they got to change his thumbnail though.
The previews I saw for it reminded me of the Animatrix.
Yeah,
Like the what was the Eon Flux, like that kind of vibe, you know?
Oh yeah.
I wish it was like Flux. I would be on that so fast. It's kind of like it's 3D animation.
Yeah. Are you talking about the movie though, or are you just talking the anime?
This is
an anime
altered
movie.
For Aeon Flux though.
Oh, not the movie.
No.
That movie is so
Even
awful.
though I love Charisse,
Oh man.
that movie was whack.
It's you know, like, it's just the American market, for the most part. There's exceptions, but for the most part, doesn't do the whole anime translation thing very greatly.
I
Like
mean-
the Ghost in the Shell was beautiful to watch, but kind of a train wreck plot wise, and it sucks because I got to watch the original Ghost in the Shell movie, and it's so good with its plot. And they went to so much trouble to recreate entire shots from the movie to the new movie, like the anime to the movie, that why not just use the original plot because it was so good.
Yeah. At that point.
If they made a live action Akira, it would probably
They are.
suck. There's hardly a plot. You're
They are
following
making
around
live action Akira.
You're following around this kid, like pardon my French, but asshole kid. And he's like a tough crowd kid, you know, like as a father, you know, if your son's hanging out with a kid that kind of looks like he's not that upright citizen, like, you know, you could see how that's going to play out. So you immediately tell him like, hey, stop hanging out with that guy, you know. But this is those kids. You're just following around like the bad kids the whole movie until shit starts to get crazy at the end.
Taika's supposed to be directing it.
I have
Taika
no
Waititi?
idea. That's crazy. They're gonna have to spin it in a completely new way, which you know, that's like a theme on this podcast. Every time we talk about these people making movies, we always hear the word like carving a new, you know, in these storylines. So this is one of those times where I'm not gonna care if they take liberties and create their own narratives, because it would be better than what is actually source material.
Yeah. It's a wild show.
Yeah, it's weird.
Ooh, so speaking of post-apocalyptic like sci-fi, and this is at the moment we're recording, the mayor of Los Angeles, Garcetti,
Oh goodness.
just announced that there's so many businesses they're refusing to close down, even though it's illegal to.
Yeah.
It's illegal to stay open. That they're ordering to shut off water and power to the non-essential businesses that refuse to close.
Wow.
Well, I mean,
Nobody's
if they
taking it
continue
serious.
working, then I don't know.
What's that?
They're gonna. They probably are like meh, and they'll just continue working.
I don't know.
They maybe, and this is just a maybe, they think they're not going to be able to survive if they close down.
I would assume, yeah. There's a lot of businesses that are gonna go. I mean, I know it's not a nerd talk, but like, there's a lot of stuff that's gonna go down. I mean, just it's crazy.
Oh gosh. I mean, yeah. To make it a long story short, and it is a very long story. Even like bailouts and stuff like this, I don't know if it's going to help very much, but the economy is going to take a bite in the ass.
I mean, it
Yeah.
already has.
Yeah.
But it's we won't get into the politics. But like this is wild that like we're in the middle. It's like, isn't that crazy that happened in that anime? That's happening right now. In Los Angeles. So
Oh man.
man.
but
Did you ever read the book? There was this book that I read in like middle school. It was like the girl who owned a city.
that sounds so familiar, but I can't recall anything from it.
It was crazy. I was thinking about it like 2 or 3 months ago, and it's basically about a virus that comes in and like wipes out everybody pretty much that's older than 12.
Oh wow.
So it's like post-apocalyptic, like kids, like gang turf war kind of thing of like, you know, what's going on. I was like, dang, that's kind of creepy. It's kind of like the possibility for this, you know?
Yeah, especially, have you seen the news like in the last day? This is where we're at now. We're literally at 12-hour news cycles.
Yeah.
Like beginning of the day or end of the day. I don't know if you saw it, but there's some, not everybody, but like specific politicians that are proposing the idea that we may just need to sacrifice the elderly to save the economy.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's insane. Like, and what? Like, that's the kind of thing you say at the beginning of Hunger Games.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
or,
is it-
or like if you're Thanos, you're like, we must sacrifice for the great. It's like, what?
It's
Yeah.
a very primal, weird thing to say. Yeah.
But the stupid thing is you're talking about like lives for money, but for a money system that's created by humans. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like an anime plot. But here we are. You know.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I feel like Alita did it well. I know we already kind of ended that conversation.
No, I like the segue. I love Alita.
Yeah.
Did the anime thing well?
Did the, like crossing over into a movie well?
Well, so Alita did what if you're listening for the first time, whenever we say yellow spandex, we mean when it like goes all the way, right? Mm-hmm. And so like Alita did the yellow spandex.
Oh yeah.
They just made her like gigantic, you know, anime baby doll eyes, you know,
And it rocked.
went
that
for
movie rocked.
and she like, you know, gets cut in 3 pieces and still fights and stuff. It's like
Amazing.
what I want to see.
Huge heart.
That actually kind of reminds me of so the guy who's playing Jax in the new Mortal Kombat movie
Yeah.
had tweeted or Instagram something that was to the effect of like, don't worry fans, you're going to get the rated R Mortal Kombat you love.
Yes.
It'll be with fatalities and be grounded in reality. And everybody's like,
What?
They're like Mortal Kombat grounded in reality. Boo.
Boo.
The whole point about Mortal Kombat is that you could get a bullet through the eyeball, like your spine snap in half, and then you shake it off and keep fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
know,
then
they're
you're
like-
in some nether realm.
They were like, "What? Since when? When did anything in the Mortal Kombat universe need to be rooted ground in reality?"
Yeah. I mean, I get like humans come off Earth into these different realms, but we don't spend much time on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, also, there's only a handful of humans.
Right. It's like
Most of the-
literally a handful.
Yeah, most of the human-like figures in Mortal Kombat are actually from like other places
Other
and
places,
stuff, you know.
yeah. Other realms, other species.
But you know that brings up a point that maybe we'll start closing on. But as far as like media, depending on how long this goes, you know, like I guess it depends because right now we're about like supposedly we're right about to see what's going to happen in the worst in America, right, for this virus thing, and depending on how bad it blows up, if people aren't listening and stuff, we might be in this for a lot longer. And as far as like film productions and stuff, the only thing that can really keep going is animation. So like,
Yeah.
I wonder what that means for that, you know, because like we have a few friends that, well, a bunch of our friends do YouTube, but a couple of them do animation channels,
Yeah.
and they're the ones that they haven't missed a beat, you know, because they have teams of animators that all work from different states and home and stuff. And if anything, they have more time now.
Yeah.
And so they're pumping out more content. So you wonder what that's going to scale to the bigger stuff, like the Altered Carbon anime. You know, was way before this virus stuff, but like, will we see other stuff like that that's just trying to like tide us over until like the bigger things come out? You know, like I mean that's obviously like a distant future, but like let's say film productions get halted for close to a year, you know, or even enough to back things up for you. Even if like film productions get halted for like 6 to 8 months, that's enough to set a movie back by a year, right?
Yeah.
So what if that happens? Like, do they just start animating? Like, now you're going to get the Black Widow prequel animated?
Hey man, if they started doing one shots again, but they were animated, I mean, I'd watch them definitely.
Yeah.
DC alone, all of their animated stuff is just killer. So I don't know. Maybe Marvel should get on that. And everybody else too. If if Ninja Turtles did like an animated movie like that, and where it was a little more hardcore, I would love it.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
So there's the opportunity, you know, like bring back some of these animated properties, you know.
Like super old.
Yeah. It's like bring back Silverhawks.
There you go. Or G-Force.
Gee,
Gee, is that the thing with the hamsters?
no.
G-Force was like Power Rangers, but in space.
Oh.
I
Gotcha.
could
And
bring back
definitely like a Japanese anime.
Beetleborgs.
Beetleborgs, yeah.
Beetleborgs, yeah.
We actually know a guy that worked on Beetleborgs.
Our friend Evil Ted, he did the recreations of the Beetleborg costumes for the American actors
And VR Ranger.
and VR Troopers.
VR
VR
Troopers, yeah.
Troopers. Gosh dang.
Yeah.
I tried watching some of
Animate
that.
those, man.
I tried watching some of that a while back just to see like how bad it was, and it's so awful.
Yeah, so great.
I don't. When I was a kid, man, that whole craze. I never got into Beetleborgs, but I was definitely into VR Troopers and Power Rangers. Mm-hmm. But in the reverse order, like Power Rangers all the way.
Yeah.
And then if there weren't any new Power Rangers episodes, we'd sit there and watch VR Troopers.
Yeah,
because it was the we are VR. They copied the formula perfectly.
Yeah, that's pretty much Power Rangers.
yep.
Beetleborgs was odd. It was like, haunted house with Jay Leno and I don't know, man.
Oh, I want to watch this episode. Not that I didn't have time, but like a YouTube channel I watch is called Sci-Fi Wire, I think. Mm-hmm. They do like the history behind, and they had like the weird history behind Beetleborgs or something. And I was like, I need to watch this because it's like what if the Power Rangers were on acid?
That's accurate.
I watched a bunch of I don't always watch the Jay Leno car thing, but I watched all the ones that were basically like nerd stuff. Like he had Kit on there, like somebody owned like one of the actual cars from Knight Rider, and and then the DeLorean, like the C car that they pretty much redid. They rented out all the time.
Yeah. We see that around Hollywood all the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Jay's garage is around here somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in Burbank, around Burbank Airport. If you watch it at all, you can definitely hear the airplanes like landing.
That's funny because the Kit and the DeLorean and stuff like if you live in LA, you're probably like 1 or 2 connections away from getting that booked for your party.
Yeah,
because like the people who own those like rent them out to events and stuff.
Yeah, all the time.
You only got to know like 1 or 2 people connected to it.
Yeah.
So like, I remember the first time I sat in the DeLorean, I was like, "This is so cool!" And then in the same year, we saw it 5 more events.
We even shot it in a music video. Yeah. In one of our music videos.
We haven't gotten to see Kit yet, but he was at a set that our manager was directing.
Yeah, he drove it.
That's funny. All right. Well, this might be a good place to button up.
Speaking
about
of
an hour
over that in that same area is West Coast Customs. If you guys ever remember those shows with Exhibit back in the day, Pimp My Ride, all those shows, even just West Coast Customs themselves, it's just an amazing place. But yeah, sorry, that was like, oh yeah, Jay's right over there by West Coast Customs.
He's driven past me before.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think it was like he has one that's like a steam powered car or whatever.
That's right. Yeah.
And
it's huge.
I think we were at Costco or that little area over there.
Oh, that's right.
And I was all of a sudden like, holy crap, that's Jay Leno.
That's so funny.
Well,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
all right, cool. Well, everybody, be safe. Wash your friggin' hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep your space clean.
Stay inside, unless you have to be outside, because we're probably the first generation who's being asked to save the world by watching Netflix. And so we can do it.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of, I pondered bandwidth of like how many people in America is on Wi-Fi watching Netflix. I wonder if the numbers are just astronomical.
We'll probably see that here in a bit.
Yeah, you feel like one of the servers would shut down or something.
Right?
But start making a list. I made a list of all the shows I meant to watch over the years.
Yeah.
And never got to. Made a list of all the podcasts I meant to listen to and never got to. And I just bought all the comic books digitally that I wanted to read. So I'm just pacing it out, and I'm playing Animal Crossing. So we can do this, and it's like Granny Potty Mouth said: like viruses don't move, people move. If we stop moving, so does it.
Yeah.
And so like let's get this out of the way and like recover and not drag it on for too much longer, because that this is nice right now, but I don't know how long it'll.
I don't know how
to be like this. So wash your hands, stay inside, and be safe. Say thank you to the next delivery person or grocery cashier you run into, because man, it's a rough time. Also, don't forget to call your credit cards, because they're letting you delay your payments. I had a really nice conversation with a lady the other night. Because I told her thank you, and she said it was the first time she heard it in like a week. And then we just talked for like another 20 minutes after that. I'm not sure if she was allowed to do that or not, but anyway, so all that, and then check out Josh's podcast, starting a record label. Check out me and Vince. We have our YouTube channel. The Power Rangers video should be coming out soon, but also Every Sunday we live stream. Because of this quarantine, we're doing 4 p.m. Pacific time and 11 p.m. Pacific time.
Oh, doubling it up.
Yeah, because what else are we gonna do?
Yeah,
And
you got the time.
4 p.m. We're gonna do the playlist like we have been. Last week we had our friend Ruth Ann. She might be back next week. She had a lot of fun on there with us. We did the best 90s songs. The next one might be 2000 songs. I'm not sure. But then the 11 p.m. we literally just sit there with the camera on and hang out with everybody. So we just hang. Last time we hung out until the Wi-Fi cut us off. So
Excellent.
all that's happening. But thanks again. And be safe. We'll be back next week because this seemed to work out, I think. If you're hearing this, it worked out.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.